Hey guys, how are you? I wanted to come on and share some ideas with you that I had. So some of you know that I have a passion about learning about quantum physics. I feel like it's the science of spirituality. This is one of my favorite books, The Self-Aware Universe. It's by Amit Goswami. You may recognize him from movies such as What the Bleep Do We Know? But this book's been around for a while, and I just think it's a fantastic read. And it's about how the physical world, how the physical universe is in existence only because there are consciousnesses to measure it, to observe it, and then it literally brings out of nothing the appearance of physical matter. It is a magnificent read, and actually it's surprising how you could bring those type of theories in a way that you can really understand them without knowing anything about mathematics, because trust me, I glaze over with math, but I love the theory of how the world is here because and only because we are involved in the observation of it. And the theory goes, once there's not a need for the learning aspects of 3 dimensions, and 4 dimensions if you include time, it's the time-space thing, whatever, it doesn't matter, don't get caught up in that, the physical universe will disappear. I've loved that idea. I've studied it. It makes sense. Scientifically, it does. And actually, the measurable quantum world, it does. I mean, there's measurements now that are just like amazing about how the world doesn't really exist in a physical format. It's just the organization of energy and information. Before I get off on that soapbox, from this understanding of how I love the quantum world and the science of spirituality, I came across this wonderful book, The Disappearance of the Universe by this Gary Renard guy. And this is just a wonderful book about this guy just has experiences with ascended masters. They appear to him and they describe to him that it is all of our it is within our destiny. It's within our, I guess you could say, the Wheel of Fortune card, that we all reach our own ascension or our own atonement. Atonement is the word that A Course in Miracles uses for becoming completely self-realized and knowing for sure and experiencing for sure that everybody else is only an extension of ourselves, because it takes into the literal observable fact, if you really consider the numbers of it all, that we are all connected in this physical universe to something greater that is unified, which is how you can identify this holographic universe where you can pick one aspect and be able to identify the whole of it by the one aspect. I'm not gonna go crazy down that rabbit hole. But let me bring in tarot. Let me bring in why I'm sharing it with this community because I'm talking about the world. I'm talking about the world. If you organize your major cards like the only way I think that they can be organized to make any damn sense for learning and the utilization of them, first 7 cards, the Magician through the Chariot, is all worldly influences and aspects. Strength through Temperance. 8 through 14 is about intrapersonal, all this stuff that's going on inside of you. And then where this wonderful card comes in with the other 6 of the 3rd line of the major arcana that I love to talk about is all about universal influences. Now, to tie this together, or hopefully I'm going to tie it together, the disappearance of the universe and the Course in Miracles is all about getting you to realize that there is no separation between you and any other physical thing in the universe. All backbone of this, guys. All the backbone of this. And you can tell, I want to talk about the imagery of the traditional Pamela's artwork about how I think this is leading. I think the tarot is a tool to help us throughout the process of realizing that once we become fully self-actualized, where we understand that whenever we have a frustration with somebody else, it's from an unconscious frustration within us that we're just seeing a different aspect of ourselves, bringing that to light so that you can forgive it. All right? That's what this book is about, forgiveness. To the atonement, to your ascension, and it's certainly the backbone of A Course in Miracles, is to forgive everybody else in the world for whatever they're doing, because it's just recognizing an unconscious thing that you are about due to the separation from this one united globule of, we can call creator, or some might refer to as God. Okay? So, I think the World card, the end, the most mysterious card, in my opinion, of the major arcana, this is leading the idea of the ascension, of the atonement, of realizing and living after you've judged. I kind of got this life thing down. Now I sort of go about it in the service of others, knowing that through serving other people, you are only servicing another aspect of yourself. Whenever the lessons of the self-aware universe comes into play, along with the inferences of the disappearance of the universe, and of course, the actual course load of A Course in Miracles. This is all channeled material, guys. It is a deep read and it is fantastic. So let me talk a little bit more about how the majors sort of come into play, bringing in more tarot, all right? I take the Fool card. I mean, everyone knows what the hell a Fool card is. I mean, come on, guys. We're pros here. The Fool is the spirit. It is before the physical manifestation of anything real in the world. But this is where it gets really good. When the Fool drops in to the worldly influences of that first line, you have everything that you need to navigate your world, right? Your emotions, your thoughts, your actions, the feedback of those things, the conglomeration of those things as symbolized through the 4 symbols on the magician's table. But what it ties in with your ascension or your atonement is right underneath the magician. The first card in the third line, the universal line, is the attaining of an ego. It is the not only the separation of this united thing, it's the attaining of this ego that does everything that it can to prove to you, to trick you, to be the devil in your life, that you are indeed separate and better than everybody else, which is why your ideas are better, everybody else is wrong, how you have to sort of get yours and win and keep it, and sort of, it's a winning game. That's the attainment of the ego, and it comes in right under the magician. Absolutely no accident. Another reason why this wonderful tarot card imagery leads up to the ultimate personal, I believe, atonement, so that you don't even have to be reincarnated again. There's no need for the physical world, right? Once you come to this realization, this is why this is such a wonderful card, is that whenever you have a better understanding of whenever the things kind of go down for you, things, when the shit comes down, when it hits the fan, it's where the lightning bolt comes from in this grid. That in order to move forward along this universal influences, to get to your atonement, to get to your ascension, to get to the point where you no longer need the physical universe for your learnings, is whenever you come fully into the realization that all of these things that are happening are part of a larger design plan. This is the Wheel of Fortune card, obviously, right, guys? A lot of people just think this is the shit hits fan, but whenever you look at it in the ways that comes up in your tarot card readings and working with your clients, is that there is a reason. There are doors closing because windows are opening. There's new opportunities coming, so things have to change for you. And there's a constant chaining, a big, like an inside of a ginormous clock wheel. It's the only way to get through the tower. It's the only way to get to the tower. From that, moving into this ascension period where we no longer need the physical reality, guys, is the natural space. I call this peace and stillness, stillness and peace. And we're not going to talk much about here because it really gets good whenever we talk about moving back into the world with the Moon card. All right, this is what a lot of fear. This is about getting moving again. There's a reason why this falls directly under the Emperor. All right, because the Star card, this passive card, comes right under the most, I would say, the most passive of the. Look at that wonderful. I call that the Passion card. All right. But that's the Empress card right there. It's all about emotions, feelings, stillness, no action at all. Very, very yin, no yang. That's the influence directly under that. We get into, now you got to sort of pull yourself up, get back into your life in a new way after these changes have happened for you. Direct influence directly under the Emperor card, the fourth card in the first line, the fourth card in the third universal line. You can kind of see that you need the strength, you need the coat of armor, you need the solid, throne, you need rules, foundations, one step in front of the other, as opposed to the softness of the Empress card and the softness of the Star card, right? And then, to hopefully not get too rambly on this, then we get to kind of get into this swing of living, right? We get into this swing of living and the love of life. You got the Hanged Man directly above it being illuminated by that exact same sun. And then you have the Lover's card. It's all about relationships. This is whenever you begin to truly understand that all relationships are just all about yourself. If you see something that you love in somebody else, you're seeing that different aspect of yourself in them. Especially if you see something that angers you, frustrates you, makes you crazy about that other person, that's where the Course in Miracles comes into play. That's where the disappearance of the universe comes in play and says that thing that you're pissed off about is just about an unconscious acknowledgement that is within you, because that other person is connected to you through this quantum world dynamics of quantum mechanics and physics, okay? That's why relationships, when you really get rolling into them, you really understand them, that everything is about a relationship to a different aspect of yourself as played through somebody else. That's whenever it gets really good. Now, if you're looking about how do you get from just loving life, understanding relationships, to getting to this unified, no longer need for the physical universe type of thing, the only place to go is the next step right there through Judgment. Judgment is the card all about choosing between serving yourself, and that's completely fine as far as tarot and as far as clients and as far as making your life happy, and putting yourself in the service of other people. Now, why that is so important in order to get your ascension or your atonement is because, not only because it falls under the Hierophant, we're going to get to that maybe later, but it's not really necessary, it's because this card right there is truly understanding that other people, the relationships, is just about loving this oneness that you've come from before the big split, before everybody got their own egos to say that they're different than you, they're separate than you. If there's a certain amount of resources, they need to take more for them so that you have less, all right? When you understand relationships in the way of the atonement, of the way of the quantum world, in A Course in Miracles, in the disappearance of the universe, it's about knowing that when you serve other people, you are serving that invisible part of yourself, which is why doing great acts of service feels so good. It sort of comes into your emotions, you don't even know where the hell it comes from, because you're honoring the nature of what judgment is all about. This is this born again. This is this crossroads about, do I continue to live life completely cool, completely easy, completely sort of enjoying all of it, or do I turn my attention to make, oh my God, helping other people just as important as helping myself and my own? Because here is whenever you understand that helping other people is helping yourself, literally. And with the masterfulness of understanding this is wherever you kind of get into the realistic aspect of non-locality, as they say in the quantum physics world. And that's, you don't need here and there. You can also say that this is like the symbol of the real world once this dream world is kind of finished for us. And I love the combination between this and the Wheel of Fortune, because here, again, with the Wheel of Fortune, you can kind of tell these mythical figures. They got the wings, and there's many different interpretations of them. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and they all have different sort of, Egyptian sort of connections. But I think what's important to understand through the ascension process of getting through the tarot, so we no longer need the physical world to show us the lessons that other people are different aspects of our own physical selves or our own spiritual selves, is that in theory, that's the way it is. in the tarot. That's how kind of you sort of tell yourself to make you feel better that these things kind of go wrong for you, is that they're just meant to be. It's sort of like a belief system in the second row of the tarot, the intrapersonal things for you, is that, well, there must be a reason. Things are still working out for me. Whenever this shit's hitting the fan here, it becomes real to you. It becomes real. All right, all those mythical figures become real. All right, the angel turns into a man. You know, I mean, you got the bull with the wings that actually turns into a bull. It becomes more real. I think this card is the most mysterious card, like I've said in pretty much all my videos. But it's also the most promising card, because I think whenever we can get our evolution, pretty much the evolution of the species, to a place where we understand that this physical universe isn't even necessary, it's not even real. And every great master has told us this. You can understand how time travel and how masters can go through time, and how, if you know quantum physics, we're traveling through time all the time as far as how our body reacts to things before our eyes can see it, because there's an aspect of us that is beyond time, that we kind of know what's coming for our physical senses. Again, this is Soapbox City, and I don't want to make a crazy long video, but I do want to share with you this wonderful new aspect of how I'm working with tarot. I'd like to start a little bit, maybe more of a series of this. I know this is going to be part of my podcast coming up in the new year, about the tarot of the ascension, the tarot of the atonement, as A Course in Miracles would describe it. And I just think it's inspiring. I think it's beautiful. I think it's a wonderful idea to think that this world is as it is only because it's temporary in nature, and our real world that it lies beyond time, that's kind of where it's at. That's where the masters go when they ascend. I think we all have to eventually get there eventually, and I think tarot can help us understand that path better. You can read, you can study, you can do all kind of stuff, but if you love working with the cards, and you love seeing how all the imagery of the traditional decks, and even how your mind can put together ideas of the decks that you love here. This is this tattoo tarot right there. I love that Judgment card right there. You know, to continue to serve yourself or other people as yourself. Oh my God, so good. So if you have any interest in self-ascension, any interest in getting into the real life beyond this dream of a life, oh my gosh, let me know in the comments below. I can sort of cater the next video to questions that you may have. But once I sort of put this together for myself the last couple months, I couldn't wait to have a moment to share with you guys how I love the idea of tarot being a tool for your own personal ascension, all right? Because I'm down with no more reincarnation. This is an insane world, and every master will tell you that too, man. So let's leave the meaningless to the meaningful. Let's find the knowledge. Let's leave our own perspectives besides, and sort of get joined into this conglomeration and become part of that which we call God and the Creator. So anyway, I have a great time babbling about this stuff. I hope you didn't think it was too long. I hope you found some value in it. If you did, hit like, subscribe, hit the little bell. I'm going to be talking a lot more about this stuff in the future, man. So anyway, I hope you guys are doing well, and thank you for joining me. Bye.